Hello, everyone, and welcome. During my 1K subscriber special video, I mentioned that I would be doing a Q&A. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. And uh, sorry, before I do start, I'd like to say that there's no script here, so it's going to be probably pretty rambly, much more rambly than anything else in the past because, no script. And as you can see, already pretty rambly. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead, get right into it. So the first question is it's one that was asked quite a bit, and that is why Jupiter? Why did I pick Jupiter for my name? Um, so to put it simply, Jupiter is just my favorite planet in our solar system. Um, Whenever I look at Jupiter, like I'm kind of just awestruck. I find it to be a really beautiful planet. Um, so that's the short answer of it. The longer answer is I wanted it to be astronomy focused because I have this like weird connection to space. And this is gonna probably sound weird, but whenever I like watch anything that's astronomy focused, like a video, or I just think about the vastness of space and how small we are in relation to the size of the universe, I get this weird existential dread. So making my name sort of astronomy focused is, I don't know, just my way of kind of owning that fear. And I don't want to alarm anyone. This existential dread feeling is like I handle it much better nowadays than I used to. I've been having this probably since I was about 10 or so. And it's sort of something that I've come to terms with. Like it's just part of who I am, I guess. Um, but yeah, so like I control that sort of fear much better nowadays. But yeah, so this naming scheme of it being astronomy focused is sort of just my way of owning that fear, and Jupiter specifically because I really like Jupiter. Just a wonderfully beautiful planet. Um, and as an additional question, someone asked, "What's wrong with Neptune?" And I think the answer is pretty obvious. There's one major thing that's wrong with Neptune. It isn't Jupiter, So yeah. Okay, so next question. Are you a dog person or a cat person? Um, so I'm definitely much more of a cat person. Um, and that's not to say that I dislike dogs. I would say I like most, if not all, animals. To be honest, I would describe myself as an animal lover. But the reason why I would say I'm a cat person more than a dog person is just I grew up with a cat, so naturally I have more of an affinity to cats. You know. Next question: what are some of your pet peeves? Um, so a major pet peeve of mine, I don't have many, but one thing that does annoy me is when people are in public and are loud. Like whether they're just yelling or like they're on speakerphone or something, or they're playing music loudly out of their car. Yeah, that kind of just annoys me. I, I guess I'm just pretty sensitive to loud noises. So yeah, anytime someone's loud and isn't respecting the auditory experience of those around them, yeah, I really don't like it. Next question: have you considered streaming? Um, so it's something I've thought about briefly, but I would have to gauge how many people would be interested in me streaming, and I would also have to think about what I would want to stream. Because if I were to stream, it obviously would be quite different from my typical content, because I wouldn't be able to stream like, audio role plays, obviously. So what a lot of people tend to stream is video games. So I don't know if my audience would be interested in that. If there are enough people, then I would definitely consider it. I would have to think about what games would be good to stream. I imagine Something more story focused, or like maybe like a puzzle game would probably be good. But yeah, it's something I would say I'm open to, but again, I would have to gauge the interest of my general audience, and I would have to think about what times I could stream at and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's definitely a consideration. Next question is, would you consider yourself more of an introvert or an extrovert? So 100% introverted. I'm not a very social person, and it's not that I dislike people. It's just I'm more comfortable sort of alone, if that makes sense. But yeah, 100% introverted, but I don't dislike people. Next question, had you any acting or narrating experience before this, or was it completely new to you? So yeah, I was never much into acting or anything similar. The only experience that would have translated at all would be from a previous YouTube channel that I had when I was quite a bit younger. Um, but it was nothing similar to this, but I did speak there. So a little bit of experience, but probably not much that translated. So a lot of this is pretty new to me. I was never like a drama student or anything in school. I never had much interest in acting, but I'm really enjoying it now. Like, it's just a lot of fun, and I'm loving the community, and everyone's fantastic here. So yeah, completely new. Hopefully, I'm doing an okay job. So next question is, do you have a favorite part to play in particular? And in general, I would say that vampires are definitely my favorite. That's just because I like vampires, and that's why the first script that I personally wrote was, a vampire one. But for a specific character, I think my absolute favorite so far was the Yandere role in Ropes Are Temporary, Love Is Not, which was written by RVN. I'll link that in the description. I'll link both the script itself as well as my take on it if you aren't familiar with it. I really liked how unhinged I played that character. I thought the script really called for that sort of style, like just way over the top, So I really liked to crank it to 11, and that was the most enjoyable performance so far for me. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that one. So these next two questions I'm going to be answering together because they're pretty related, and the answers I think will sort of intertwine. So, what got you started into VA and your YouTube channel, and also what gives you inspiration for these role plays? So throughout my life, people have often told me that they enjoy my voice and that I should do something with it, like get into radio or something similar. And I never really believed them, kind of. I didn't have the confidence in myself to sort of trust that people were kind of telling me the truth that they enjoyed my voice. So I definitely have a lot more confidence in that regard nowadays. But what got me started into it, and what inspired me was, so usually when I sleep, or well, not usually, but always when I sleep, I have to put something on to listen to. Otherwise, I get these like auditory hallucinations, which are more of an annoyance than they are creepy. So I'll hear like sort of incoherent whispering sometimes as I'm drifting off to sleep, or I'll hear like a door slam or just noises that I know aren't there. So, like I said, they're more annoying than they are spooky because it just it would wake me up just as I'm drifting off into sleep. So I found that if I'm listening to something, whether it be music or like ambience or white noise or audio role plays and ASMR, it would sort of quell those auditory hallucinations. So I don't get them if I'm listening to something. So that's how I discovered this whole sort of community as a whole, right? And at some point, I thought, well, what if I could make these? What if I could help people potentially? What if I could bring some comfort or joy to people? So I decided to give it a shot. Um, and I'm glad that I did, because it's been a lot of fun, and I'm just glad that there are people that enjoy what I'm doing here. So thank you for being here. And for the last set of questions, it's going to be a series of favorites. So I'll just answer these pretty quickly. Favorite movie, The Big Lebowski. Favorite music, anything fast. Favorite video game, at the moment, Doom Eternal. And favorite anime, Overlord. Okay, and that should conclude our little Q&A here. I hope it wasn't too rambly, and I hope you enjoyed. If you're still here, thank you so much. I love you all. Have a wonderful day or night, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.